we're definitely gonna have to dry them out, because water came in a bit. Water came in a bit more than a bit, actually. Water was like, hey, y'all, how are you? I'm coming in. Don't mind if I do. All right, we got a right-hand turn right there, but this is where we're sticking to the left. This is where we are kind of heading into somewhat unknown territory, because the last time I was out here was quite a while ago, and I didn't really have much of an idea of where I was going, nor did the creator of the map have this area fully fleshed out. So this is pretty much all new to me. All new to me and all new to this Bronco. Now we need to be careful to not get high-centered up here. Ooh, easy. Cooler's moving around a little bit. Hopefully my food and drinks in the cooler aren't too shaken up by the time we get there. Oh, this is gnarly. This is actually very realistic, though, to some of the trails you would find in real life, because, like, you're gonna have these outcropping of rocks, or these outcroppings, I guess you would say. Outcroppings of rocks sort of intermingled with mud and little streams and springs throughout the terrain. This is, you want to talk about realism, this is where it's at when it comes to realism, especially. I mean, at this pace, too, yeah, you're dealing with a level of realism that is, a step, or at least a few steps above a lot of things that we've seen before. It's just so immersive, too. Especially if you do it in first person. God, this is off-road simulator type stuff. This is, I mean, literally, we are doing an overland simulation, and I can't think of any better way to do an overland simulation in SnowRunner, because you definitely feel like you're there, that's for sure. Don't you, Beans? I'm sure Beans does. I mean, see, Beans is nodding. Yes. Yes, Beans is like, this is good. Good simulation. Yes. All right, we've got a watchtower out there in the distance. We know where that watchtower is, so we're not going to head up there. I've been there on a prior adventure. Not in this. I was in a Land Cruiser. But, oh, dude. Coming down that hill, I don't know why, but, like, coming down that hill literally made me think. It gave me deja vu of real-world off-road scenarios that I've actually watched in real life. Like, I've watched vehicles come down hills just like that, and the way the vehicle moved and behaved on that hill looked exactly like some of the scenarios I've seen in real life. That is so freaking cool. Oh my god, that is so freaking cool. And it's so relaxing, too, to go on a adventure like this, both in the real world and in the virtual space. Like, the only thing that would make this more immersive is if I was doing it in VR. If I was doing this in VR, it would be, I mean, it would literally be the overlanding simulator if I was doing this in VR. Like, oh my god. And having all the working mirrors, too, goes a long way to the immersion factor. Goes an absolutely incredibly long way to the immersion factor. Like, oh my god. Talking about trails that I've been on in real life that hill back there reminded me of. That hill back there reminded me of an adventure that I did. Uh-oh, I'm stuck on a tree again. Hold on, let's fix this. But that, like, coming down that hill back there actually reminded me of a scenario, or a couple of scenarios, on Hurricane Creek in real life, which, if y'all are not aware of what Hurricane Creek is, it's a trail near the North Carolina-Tennessee state line. Well, I would say kind of the eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina state line, and it's not the most difficult trail by any means, but it is a really cool trail to get out on with friends, and it is, like, moderately challenging enough that, you know, you will have to use for low, you will have to use, well, depending on the vehicle. I mean, you know, some vehicles may have to, some vehicles may not. I would definitely recommend it for the extra element of, you know, control over the vehicle, but, and also just being nicer to the powertrain. But it's a really fun trail, and it has some fun elements to it. It's certainly not a rock crawling trail, but it is definitely a fun one, and you're going to deal with a lot of different, like, elements of off-roading. There are some spots on that trail in real life where I do find them kind of, like, hard to simulate in a game like SnowRunner, because one of the trickier obstacles on Hurricane Creek is actually where you have to crawl up an area where it's like, it's washed out and it's rutted, but it's like rocky on one side and it's tree roots on the other side, and it's always wet. And it always gives a good element of challenge for pretty much any vehicle that goes up that section. Although that, I feel like, you know, the variety of surfaces is kind of something that's a little bit harder to simulate in a game like SnowRunner. Even in a game like BeamNG Drive, I feel like it'd be a little bit harder to simulate. All right, we got a little bit of mud here that we're dealing with. Let me go, I think, to the left. Not bad. Yo, not bad at all. I love how, like, where it would normally say warn, it just says winch. That's like the most beautiful way I've ever seen someone make a console-friendly version of warn. They're just like, yeah, big red W with the word winch in the middle. Perfection. Yeah, this section of trail is totally new to me. Totally and entirely new to me. I'm thinking that, ooh, this mud pit looks actually quite long, and it looks like it could be a bit gnarlier than the previous few. Let's see if we can go in and stay to the right-hand side. Oh, yeah, we got water coming in for sure. Well, maybe not as much as I thought. Oh, definitely right there. Ooh. Well, boots are definitely soggy now. Definitely. Let's see if we can run low plus. Oh, that definitely worked. Okay, let's go. Send it. Not bad at all. We're starting to go back uphill a little bit. I do wonder where this ends up, because this, for me now, is totally uncharted territory. Totally uncharted. Not necessarily the game Uncharted, but, you know, uncharted in the actual literal sense of the word uncharted. Oh, you could tell that the sun is starting to go down too, because we've had our headlights on ever since it started raining, and I never bothered to turn them off. But now you can see how when I look behind me, yeah, it's a little bit darker behind me, and you can see where my headlights are actually lighting up the terrain in front of me. Oh, this is getting real interesting now, y'all. This is definitely getting really interesting now, because once the sun goes down, oh, that's gonna bring a totally new element of both challenge and immersion to this adventure. All right, let's stay to the left here. Circle a little bit back to the middle. And this part, I think we're just gonna have to go right through the middle, as long as we avoid that tree, which we did completely fine. Look at that sky. Holy smokes. This is where that backlit dash is definitely gonna come into its own as well. Yo, whoa! Oh my god, looking at that dash right now, that is one of the coolest things. You can't see it super well during the daytime, but during the night, or well, it's not even nighttime yet, but in the evening, I should say, in the evening, that dash is just an absolute thing of beauty to look at. Easy does it. Here we go. Hold on. Look at that. Wait a second. Look at this. Hold on. Whoa. Look at that screen. Menu, front trail cam, saved trails, Outback Overlanding, Cascade Springs, Rockingham, Jensen Trails, T&B Trails. Oh my god. There's even more. That is so... I can't believe it took me until now to notice that. Holy details, dude! That's insane! I can't even believe that. Yo, that is the sickest thing. This thing continues to blow my mind. I've never been this mind blown by a vehicle in SnowRunner ever before. And that's not to say anything bad about any previous mods I've used. It's just like, the detail is frankly unparalleled in my opinion. Wow! Although I gotta say about this particular trail, as we get a little bit further out into the wilderness, you definitely feel like you're out in the boonies here for sure. This gives you that feeling of being alone, kind of alone in the wilderness and not knowing where you are, because I do not know where I am. I have no clue. I have absolutely no idea where I am. And, I mean, I think that's a good thing in the context of what we're doing here, but at the same time, I would definitely recommend to myself that we check our GPS. Uh-oh. My front axle hung up on something? Probably. Yep, it was hung up on that tree, actually. Sheesh. It was hung up on that tree root. All right, we got a river crossing here. Oh, well, wait a minute. Looks like we could cross it, but we don't have to. Let me get our handy-dandy globe out, do a quick scan, and then we'll check the GPS and see where we should maybe head to. All right, GPS scan should be complete. Wait for it to go away. Check the GPS. All right, so we can go directly ahead, or we can go to the left, which the left takes us and loops us back around to a repair shop and eventually ends on the beach, whereas going directly ahead takes us over a couple of different waterfalls, winds us around, and then brings us down into a swamp that also eventually links up to that same repair shop. I don't know. I'm actually really unsure about which way I want to go. Like, genuinely unsure. And I think what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go directly ahead, but we're going to try something new. We're going to actually take a quick break from commentary, and I'm going to let y'all enjoy the immersion and the sights, sounds, and scenery as we drive through them.